So I feel like a lot of times, especially when I get students and they get really intimidated when they come into my class, and especially if they're not finance students. Every single time I tell people, oh yeah, I teach finance, they're like, oh, you must really like numbers. And I mean, I like numbers.
Yes.
And yes, numbers have a big part in finance, but really there is another significant portion in finance that a lot of people kind of don't think about, and that is what to do with those numbers,
Right.
and critical thinking of like, when you see numbers, what are your thoughts about those numbers and what are you going to do with those numbers? Decision making is a big part of finance. And so a lot of people kind of don't realize that portion of finance, and those are important aspects that you need to know even going into your career. And so in my classes, I actually ask a lot of times students to read the Wall Street Journal. And I encourage that for anybody who is going to be going into an interview. Hey, read the Wall Street Journal. In your interview, I think it will look good if you knew how those concepts could impact your future employer. And so knowing that, even in the business world, I think goes a long way to showing that you care, right?
Right.
At the same time, we do talk about the numbers. If you're in a company, look at their financials. Where is the financial position that company's at? I think it's good to know the big picture. This is the big picture the company is at, financially, and then that will help you understand your own role in that company and maybe ways to kind of improve your company in that way. And then hopefully you will get into that manager position. I think if you show that you care and you show that you know what is the big picture is and what your role is in that big picture, getting into that manager position may be a little bit easier that way. And then you're making decisions. So it's all about, well, how will your decision impact that company financially? Even if you're not in a financial role, you still need to know how your decision, maybe your marketing decision, how that is going to impact the company financially. Knowing maybe you're going to have to argue and try to find budgets. You need to know, well, if you have that as an argument, hey, what I'm going to do is going to improve your company financially. That's a good way to have some good evidence for what you're wanting to back, either decision-wise or budget-wise.